Versus, they announced that on Sunday, October 17th, there's gonna be not a surprise versus. Let's just put it like, let's just look at this picture right here that they put up on Twitter, on social media, and on IG. It's a silhouette of two MCs, two rappers, and you could just pretty much tell who they are. That's a silhouette of a young Big Daddy Kane with the box cut, and that's a silhouette of KRS-One turning to the side with his cap on and his shades on that he was wearing in the whole Stop the Violence movement era in 88, 89. You could just tell. And so they didn't just come out and disclose it and say, okay, it's Chris versus Kane. But look, we all know what the deal is. So let's just make it official. Well, I'm gonna make it official. But they said that, announcement will officially be coming soon, but it's gonna be KRS-One versus Big Daddy Kane. This is a legendary versus right here. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. This is probably one, if not the biggest versus hip hop wise that we've seen. We've seen so many of them, so many classic verses over the last year. But this one is for all hip hop purists, hip hop heads like myself, hip hop enthusiasts, and just, remember the days back in the late 80s, early 90s when we used to debate in school, in high school, or in grammar school, in the lunchroom, or just in general, you know what I'm saying? We would get together, family get-togethers, and we would just be chilling, and we'd just be like, yo, Rakim is the best MC. Nah, it's LL. No, hold up, now, LL, come on, it's Chris, KRS-One. And nah, Chris, come on, it's Big Daddy Kane, BDK. Now we're gonna get a chance to see two of these legendary MCs battle with their catalog. Now this is gonna be a little bit of an unpredictable battle right here because it's KRS-One. And KRS-One has said previously in interviews that I've seen where he was like, verses is cool, but I'm gonna rock my whole catalog. Chris was like, I got close to 20 albums or over 20 albums. I might throw something out there from one of my albums that came out in 2017 or 2009. Or, I might just kick a freestyle. Who knows? KRS-One is very, very unpredictable when it comes to getting on stage. You know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a high energy show. You're gonna get a show that's gonna be live, raw, and uncut. But Chris might just literally want to come at Kane on the battle type tip. You just don't know. KRS-One is unpredictable in an exceptional good way. That's a positive. And this is one of the reasons why LL Cool J, when Swiss Beats and Timberland, when Swiss was talking about close to a year ago when he had LL on Instagram Live, on IG Live, you know what I'm saying? LL was like, I don't know if I want to battle Chris because LL already know that if he got on a versus stage with Chris, I'm not saying who would win. That's for y'all to decide. So leave a comment in the comment section. LL would have a long night. Let's just call it for what it is, going up against Chris. Don't get me wrong, LL could battle Chris songs for song. LL has the more mass appeal and the bigger hits, so LL would be comfortable. LL would be fine. But Chris is very aggressive and he's very hype and he's very all about putting on a good show. So Chris, ain't no telling what you go get from Chris. So LL was like, nah, I'm good. That's not my lane right there. So I'm not saying LL was ducking a little smoke. LL, you was ducking a little smoke, bro. But listen, I'm just saying though. But anyway, that's LL. That's something totally different. We're talking about Big Daddy Kane versus Chris. Both of their catalogs is exceptional. Me personally, I'm gonna be upfront and full disclosure. I'm rocking with Chris, KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, the BDP crew, the BDP posse. On this one, Chris' catalog is amazing. Like Chris said out of his own mouth, he's been rocking the mic and consistently coming out with albums over the last 30 years. Whereas Big Daddy Kane's career kind of slowed down in the mid 90s, like around 94, 95. Big Daddy Kane hasn't released, new material whatsoever in almost like 25 years. He came out with his last album, which was Veterans Day, which was a very lackluster and not a good album. That album was, sorry Kane, I love you, bruh, but Veterans Day was horrible. It was a bad album. That album came out in like 97. It really wasn't a good album at all. And that was like the last time we really officially heard Kane on, coming out with a full-length album. So I think Chris has the better catalog. There's no doubt about that. KRS-One has deeper tracks, but And one thing about Kane, I know a lot of y'all gonna disagree with me, but Kane really has only, in my humble opinion, 2 albums, maybe 2.5 albums. And I say that because his third album, Big Daddy's third album, which was called Taste of Chocolate, really wasn't a great album or like that. It had some joints on there. Let's be clear. It had a couple bangers on there. But really, Kane is basically going off of his 1988 album, Long Live the Kane, which was a classic. It's a Big Daddy Thing in '89, which was another classic album. And then after that, you know, his Kane's discography gets real sketchy. I mean, he tried to take the LL route, you know, in the early 90s, like around 90, 91, and cater to the ladies, come out with songs featuring Barry White and things of that nature, the crossover pill, but that really didn't work for him. So then then that's what segued into him coming out with albums, you know, more seductive, you know, geared towards the ladies, like Prince of Darkness and Daddy's Home in '94. And then Looks Like a Job for Kane, which came out in '93. That album actually had a couple sleeper joints on there. He had the joint featuring Shaheem and Old Dirty Bastard. I think it was called Show and Prove. And he had Hove and Jay-Z was on that album, if I'm not mistaken. He was also maybe on that song too, if I'm not mistaken. This is just going off the top of my head. But if I remember correctly, then he had How You Get a Record Deal was on that album. So Kane's trajectory was a little bit more different than Chris's trajectory. But I do remember Big Daddy Kane did a lot of early writing for Biz Markie in the early Cold Chillin' years, like around 1988, you know, 89, 87, late 87, around that time. So Kane's, you know, he could come out of his bag with some joints that he wrote for Biz Markie. Rest in peace to Biz. Kane easily has 20 joints. Are those 20 songs, you know, after Kane gets to his 10, you know, Kane's got a certified bona fide like 13, 14 hits. Once you get to like the 15 to 20 range, it gets a little bit kind of thin. So it's going to be interesting to see if Kane's 20, his latter 20, you know, the 10 through 20 is going to be as strong as Chris, because KRS-One could be up there all night. KRS-One got about 4 or 5 classic albums, you know, his BDP, Boogie Down Productions material included, of course. So KRS-One has his own solo classic albums as well, not even including the BDP, all of the BDP albums that were classics from, you know, the very first one, Criminal Minded, to Sex and Violence, to Edutainment. But then KRS-One has Return of the Boom Bap album, which came out in '93. Classic album, classic production by Premier, Primo on there. Then he has I Got Next in '97, which was a very dope album. So Chris can go with, and don't forget about the 1995 self-titled KRS-One album, which had MCs Act Like They Don't Know on that, and Rappers Are in Danger. So Chris, I'm giving this verses to Chris hands down. So it's just going to be good to see them up there. It's going to be good to see them actually going at it and battling. You know, I would love for this to be, me personally, I wish we could kind of think of a way to get Rakim in the battle, so it could be like a 3-way matchup between Chris, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, and Rakim. That would be epic. But this right here is one for the ages. This is going to be an extremely dope versus. I'm predicting that. It's going to be on a Sunday night. So, you know, even if you got to work, you know, early in the morning, it's not like they're going to throw it on like a random Tuesday night or a Wednesday night in the middle of the week like they've been doing. So we can all just kick back and enjoy this one right here. I'm just sitting up here thinking those early BDP albums was crazy. Edutainment, by any means necessary, when KRS-One had the gun looking out the window like Malcolm on the cover. I mean, that BDP run, Sex and Violence, that album that came out in like 91, early 91, late 90, I think it was like early 91. BDP just went on a tear for like straight up like 4 or 5 albums. All of their albums are to me personally, deemed a classic. So I'm a wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm loving this versus already. So make sure you there. I'm going to be there. Make sure you there. And I want to know what y'all think. Who wins this versus, right? Cheer. And while you're at it, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love that and appreciate that. It's AP. Thank you for watching. I'll check y'all later. Peace.